Hello tennis guys and welcome to my channel. So in today's video we will be revisiting Tecnifibre TF-X1 300 version 1 tennis racket that was released in 2021. And if you remember, in one of my older videos I was talking about how it can possibly become my new racket of choice. But then I kind of I just put the racket away because of the many reasons we will discuss in today's video. And why talk about this racket now, 3 years later? There are two reasons for that. The first reason is that I got inspired by a video from Tencom channel where Beckett talked about worst products of 2024, and among those worst products was also Tecnifibre TF-X1 tennis racket series, and it really took my attention how he explained that he didn't want to put out a review on a product where he is not sure what is the, let's say, the ending consumer for the racket, because it turned out that the TF-X1 racket series has a very high swing weight, even though the 300 gram should be a lot more maneuverable. Next, I got inspired by another tennis channel. It's called Tennis Carla. I discovered this channel recently, and what I like about this channel is that it's run by a woman. So that's great because we don't have as much, women YouTubers talking about tennis gear and tennis in general. So this is great. And I watched a video where Carla was testing Tecnifibre TF-X1 285, the 285 gram version, with her racket of choice, blade. And I don't remember really what was the blade, but I believe it was a version 7, and it was, I don't know if it was 100 or 100L or 101L, but it doesn't really matter because she talked about the Tecnifibre, how she likes the power, the free power, the stability, the big sweet spot, spin potential, and so on. Everything is there, but at the same time she doesn't really feel kind of connected to the racket as much as with her blade. The precision is not as good, and so on and so on. So there are many reasons why you could possibly like the Tecnifibre X1 tennis racket series, but for me these rackets, and especially the 300 gram version, is just too much. So the frame is very, very thick, is very beefy. The swing weight, which should be around 320, which is not bad, which is kind of manageable also for me. But it turned out that the swing weight is actually around 340. I measured 339. The balance, unstrung balance of the racket should be 320. I measured around 325. So these 5 millimeters kind of turn the racket into a monster. And I played with the racket. I have a great playtest video which you can see, and I had a blast with the racket in some situations. I was really creating massive spin, massive power, speedy shots, super fast shots, with the overall stiffness of the racket, which is around 70, 71, 72 RA. The power that this racket generates is like over the floor. It's sometimes very too much, let's say. So you lose the control, you lose the connection, but still in some situation this racket can really play well. But I prefer more the lighter rackets, the lighter version, the 285 gram version, which is manageable. It's playing like a 300 gram version of the other rackets that are around, but it's easier to handle, it's easier to swing with, but at the same time you get the sense that you know, there are better options. Also the paint on the racket, the finish of the racket, how the racket kind of overall feels in your hand is just like you know, it's like 60, we are at 60% of a, let's say, tennis racket potential overall if you compare it to more advanced rackets like the blades, let's say. So you can really nitpick many things about this racket that kind of are, I would say, just average, or even maybe not even average. So it's really hard to recommend this racket somehow, because you know that there are so many other rackets that do this, the things that the Tecnifibre TF-X1 does. They do it in a similar way, or on a similar scale, but you get more touch, you get more feel, you get easier maneuverability, you get better overall look of the racket, finish of the racket, the design, and so on. Just look at the extremes from head. I'm just wondering what Tecnifibre meant when they were developing this type of racket. What was their, you know, final vision for this racket? Because the frame is really, in my opinion, too beefy. The racket is feels too heavy, too slow, and the competition is so broad and so overall better refined, better made, better looking, better playing, better feeling, that this racket feels to me now kind of obsolete. There is no big chunk of tennis players who could possibly use this racket and say, wow, I'm impressed, I'm satisfied like 100%. I don't think that this racket is ready, or is done in a way that can really please the bigger audience in tennis in general. And I'm talking mainly about, you know, about amateurs on the intermediate, or even maybe it's for some beginners. This racket might work, but as I'm saying, there are better rackets out there. So why to bother with this one? So I was so impressed about the power, the free power, you know, that is just crazy. You can see in some of this hitting session I have with Zdenek. He's playing with the RF97, and I'm giving him hard times. You know, the forehand crosses are just out of this world. It's one of the best forehand crosses I've played, but you know, you need to be ready for this type of racket when the swing weight is around 340. When you are not, when you don't feel like in the zone, when you are not fresh, when you are tired, and blah blah blah, many things can happen. The racket will kind of rather draw you down than kind of uplift you and help you during the game. So that's why I consider the series, and also the version 2, which was released recently this year in 2024, it's the same racket, guys. There is really nothing new about it except the 98 version, and I'm not sure, there is maybe one more. I also made a video about the new, I believe 2 new rackets are in the series now, but other than that, the second generation is pretty the same. There is also the XDAM technology, which yes, it can work, it might work, I don't know. They're talking about 36%, up to 36% less harmful vibration, and you don't need to use a dampener, but I felt that this racket is stiff. It's 72RA. You can't just put away some of the harsh vibration with this, dampening mechanism in the handle. I know it's patented. I know it's based on real world, you know, real world technology that is used in one of the biggest skyscrapers in the world, where this type of technology in a much bigger you know sense, and you know how it is built, it works, it dampens, let's say, the when the building is moving thanks to wind, storms and so on. It helps to kind of absorb the vibrations in the skyscraper, in the building, and this should somehow work the same in the racket. But it's something that is, I would say, that is just extra in the racket. Other rackets don't have this, so why this one? Just to look different, just to draw attention. So that's my view on the TF-X1 version 1, and I would say, even though I didn't test the version 2, the racket just looks the same in my opinion, and is the same. They kind of they say that it has been optimized and reinforced in some of the places of the frame and so on, but I don't really see any, you know, any differences on the frame. It's just slightly little different paint job, and to be honest, the version 1 felt, in my opinion, a little bit cheap, the paint job and how the frame feels in your hand. Just I would say just an average racket with a huge amount of power. So guys, that concludes my thoughts about this racket. That's why also, and I'm in with Tencom, with Beckett from Tencom in this. That's why I didn't really put a final full review on this racket, because I was like, is there anything that would stand out, like it would blow me away, and in the same time I would believe in the product overall, that it's above average, that I can kind of rate it at least 7 out of 10 points. But in this case the racket is just like 5, 6 maybe points out of 10, and just because, and I'm repeating myself, it's maybe not because of the racket itself, it can provide with a great amount of power, but there are better options out there. Just because of that, there are better options with more, let's say, variations and more interesting aspects and combinations than just a crazy amount of power, and that's a crazy amount of power and crazy stability. That's it. So that's why I don't really see the TF-X1 line a very successful and very interesting racket to look for. But it doesn't mean that you should not try it. Definitely try it, because the power from this racket is insane. It maybe surpasses the Pure Drive series. It's probably the most powerful racket around, but power is not everything, guys. So or the free power without control is not everything. And maybe the new 98 version, the version 2, is more interesting, but I did not hit with the racket. So guys, for now, thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments, did you hit with this racket? How do you feel about this line of rackets? Is it good? Is it something that Tecnifibre should not make? Should they skip the series? Should they put it away? In my opinion, there will be no version 3, in my opinion. If maybe they will change the racket pretty dramatically to kind of make it more overall interesting, with better feel, touch, control, precision. So guys, if you want to support my channel, you always have these 4 options. You can become my member on a monthly basis. Just for $2 a month you can receive the special badge, and I can see that if you comment under my videos, you are a supporter, so I will focus on your comment, that's for sure. And then there are the 3 other options. There is the super thanks button, there is the buy me a coffee platform and PayPal option, And all of these options give you the extra opportunity to ask me a donation question, which will be answered, that's for sure. You can ask me anything tennis related, tennis gear related, or even tennis coaching, tennis technique related, and I will answer that, that's for sure. You can bet on it. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and as always, enjoy tennis, play tennis, watch tennis, watch Ten.com and watch Tennis Carla. I recommend those channels. And for now, that's all. And enjoy the new Velobity. Bye, guys.
You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious! That ball was on the line!